Hello and welcome back to this episode of RADBMX Builds, and I want to say thank you because this marks the 200th video for RADBMX Builds on YouTube. If you've been here a while, thank you. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button for RADBMX content, and I got some stuff in this video that you're not going to want to miss. At first, we're gonna work on something and do an upgrade, but I have a huge surprise for you at the end. So don't skip ahead and don't bail, because the end of this is gonna be a reveal of an amazing bike that I've been working on behind the scenes. You may have seen it on Instagram if you follow me at RADBMX_builds. If you're not over there, get over there for awesome daily content. This bike at the end, you're gonna love. But in the meantime, we're gonna do a tremendous fork upgrade to my full race/show 26-inch Race Inc. Okay, I'm sure you've seen this bike plenty, but these forks are regular Race Inc., and we're gonna do an upgrade with Bottema forks. And those are named after Jeff Bottema, an iconic racer from the late 70s, early 80s. And Race Inc. is partnered with Bottema under eBMX, and I'll link all this down below. But they make a gorgeous 26-inch fork that we're gonna put on this bike. The chrome is absolutely stunning, and I think it's gonna make a tremendous upgrade. It'd be a great upgrade to literally any bike. So if you're interested in forks like this for your build, make sure you check that link out. But we're gonna get that 26-inch red bike apart, and we're gonna put these brand new forks on it. Okay, the first thing you gotta do when you're gonna swap out forks is we're gonna get some tools, and we're gonna take this headset off of the top of that fork, and then you'll be able to slide that fork out through the bottom of the headset. And then down here on the Race Inc. bikes, you have these washers that are adapters to go from 20mm to 10mm axle. It's a little hard to swap those out, but I have some tricks that I'm gonna try to show you that'll help you if you have one of these bikes get that wheel off of these forks. So let's get the bike on the stand and get these forks off. All right, first thing we're gonna do is make sure you're using the right tools, and we're gonna take the stem cap off. And I'm a big fan of these Cook Brothers headsets, and you can get those. Everything I'm showing you today, you can get at abmxc.com. So the Cook Brothers headset, the Bottema forks, it's all the same place. If you want some of those, you can go get them. And these are amazing stem caps. This just expands inside the fork. Really amazing. No need for that star nut that goes down inside. And make sure you're using good quality tools in the right size so you don't strip any of these things out. I get a lot of stems that people have stripped out because they use slightly the wrong tool, and it's terrible. Okay, once you get the forks to come out of the headset, you can see mine just fell out. Usually there's a retention washer that'll hold it in there, but I don't know, sometimes they slide out. That's why I try to keep the stand not so high, so when it does fall, and keep a rug under there. If you drop anything, no damage will be done. So anyway, it fell out, and no harm, no foul. It's fine. It hit the floor and then landed on the carpet, no big deal. But what I want to show you is that on these forks, they have this ridge here that requires this spacer, and it has a notch in it. And the reason for that spacer is so when you get it down, make sure it's over that notch, that when the first set of bearings goes down, it rides on that edge or sits flush on that edge. So if you buy forks, make sure that you're putting that on. Super important. Okay, here are the brand new Bottema forks. Beautiful chrome, beautiful decal laid in there, and I really like the way this is gonna look. And here's that washer I told you about. It doesn't matter where the notch is per se, just drop it on there, slip it over that ledge. This one goes really nice. Sometimes they're very hard to get seated on there. So then you wanna grab your bearings, and then they're gonna drop on there, and they will ride perfectly smooth on there. Okay, as you can see here, I did alternating colors with the spacers, starting with the gold Cook Brothers stem cap down to a red spacer, gold spacer, red stem, gold spacer, red spacer, so just the opposite on the bottom. I like the balance and the alternating colors, so that's what I was going for on this. The top of this fork is a little longer than the Race Inc., so I had to add spacer in there. Now we need to get the wheel off of those other forks and onto these. All right, let's talk about getting this wheel off. There is that spacer back there, so the nut itself is no big deal. I think once we get down to the washer is where I start to have an issue, because if you look, these washers pinch on both sides of that fork, and you need to separate them to get the wheel off. And to get that inside one off and out of that dropout, you need to kind of pull the forks apart. So let me get these nuts off the axle, and then we'll get the wheel off these forks. Okay, now that we got the axle nuts off, we're gonna wanna take a flat screwdriver and just put it right down between these washers and just work on it a little bit. And you can already see it pop out there. And the outside one's pretty easy to get off. You gotta be real careful. You don't wanna like destroy your forks here. But just give it a little bit of a nudge by a little twisting motion, and it should pop it off there enough for you to just grab it and pull it out of the one that's on the inside. Okay, another little trick that I like to use is sometimes I use a Park Tool pedal wrench because of the coated edge here, and I can slide it right up between the wheel and the fork, and you're able to pry pretty easy to get that washer out. So it's a little bit of pressure, and I'm able to pop that side out, and then hopefully pop the other side out. Okay, we're gonna let gravity work for us, let the weight of the wheel pull downward instead of us trying to pop it upward. Sometimes gravity is your best friend, so let's just work on it down here. And see if we can get that. The other washer is out, we just need to get this side as I pull on it to get that washer to pop through. There we go. And the wheel's out. Okay, we're just gonna use gravity again like we did before. I'm gonna set that on there real quick and get the inside washers in place. Place them on there, both sides. And then here's where it gets a little difficult. They need to be on the inside of the dropouts. So again, grab that pedal wrench, slide it in there, and then we should be able to drop down one side a little bit, and then drop down the other side just enough but we're gonna be able to pop it in. There we go, both sides are on. And I apply a little pressure on top of the wheel. There we go. And it's in. Now we'll grab the other washers from it, and then they slide over the axle and into the hole on the other washer. I'm gonna do a lot less editing on this so you can see I'm like everybody else. I drop stuff on the floor all the time, and that's why I like to work over this rug. So when I drop something, it doesn't hit the ground and disappear on me. There we go. Once you get it seated, you can use those axle nuts to pinch it all the way in the rest of the way. I think I should get some red axle nuts for this, or gold. Comment down below and tell me what you think. Should I get colored axle nuts for this? Here I am thinking this bike's done, but are they ever really done? I just always come up with different ideas and things to do. I love to add a lot of detail to the bike when I build it. And there we go. Okay. Okay, before we give you the full reveal, make sure you tighten this stem cap and then tighten the stem. Tighten the stem cap will pull all of this together nicely, and make sure it's pretty snug, not over tight, but snug enough to where there's no play when you lift up or move the handlebars. Then you're gonna straighten the stem to the wheel and make sure you tighten both sides. There's one on this one on the other. Sometimes they're both on one side, but in this case, there's one on each. So 3 bolts to tighten there, make sure you do that. Okay, a pretty easy process, honestly. It's about a 15-minute job. With me filming and moving lighting around and the camera around and tripods, so on and so forth, it only took me about 25, 30 minutes. If you were to do it without all that craziness, it's probably a 15-minute swap your forks out. I hope you found that information useful, and I really love this bike. So we're gonna go over this bike a little bit and reveal the Bottema forks on it. But I wanna tell you, this Race Inc. bike is flooded with Cook Brothers parts, Bottema forks, box grips, and just full of parts and components that you can get at abmxc.com. So if you want pretty much anything on this bike, there are a couple things that aren't available yet, but they're coming soon. You can get them on that website. All right, enough. We're done talking. Let me show you the Bottema fork upgrade on my Race Inc. bike. you've made it this far, I got a gift for you. So I'm about to pull out a bike that I just finished. I haven't done any YouTube videos about, and it's only been shown a little bit on my Instagram. I bought this bike locally on Facebook Marketplace. It was a frame, fork, and handlebar set for 800 bucks, which I think was a tremendous buy. Very happy. I already had the wheels for it sitting in the shop, and then I just started using a couple parts that I had, and then I ordered the rest. So it was a very quick build. I just got back from a vacation where we went to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and then I went to San Antonio, Texas. So I've had the bike finished for a little bit, but now I'm back. So I apologize. It's been about 9 or 10 days since I put a video out, but I just needed to do some traveling for vacation and go see my son in Texas, but I'm back. And there's a lot of videos to come. I know you don't want to hear me talk. You want to see this bike. So I'm going to pull it out right now, but while I do that, I want you to know you can get merch at radbmxbuilds.com/merch. Now let's pull out this bike. Okay, without further ado, here is the 2019 Hutch XL24 Pro Racer. You can see right up front here we have Hutch grips, Hutch pads, Air Uni number plate. This bike is made by Hutch in a chrome with a candy blue overlay. I put the blue acorn nuts on the axles. Blue acorn nuts is a valve stem cap. Skyway 24-inch wheels, Kenda K55 tires. And then we come up here to the roughneck stem and Hutch star bolt, Hutch bars, the velo seat and a fluted seat post for that old school look with a Hutch donut seat post clamp. And then this was a new old stock SR 44 tooth chain ring, and I mated it up to a high polished night bike power disc, chrome 3-piece cranks with Welgo bear trap pedals, and a black and chrome chain. Beautiful loop tail bike. This color is absolutely amazing. I love blue bikes, honestly. I have 2 blue Hutches. The other one's just regular blue, and this candy blue is to die for. I absolutely love it. These are SE donuts, but they don't say SE anywhere on them. I just thought it would complement the little bit of the white in there. But I really like the Hutch grips. And man, I just love the balance of color on this bike. The blue, black, and chrome look so good together. Tell me in the comments down below what you think. I was able to scoop this bike up for 800 bucks, and I already had the wheels, you know, those are a couple $100, and then a few $100 in parts. So couldn't complain at all with how this came out. So let me know what you think. Would you change anything or just leave it the way it is? Because I think I'm gonna leave this the way it is. I'm quite happy with it. As much as I would love some Hutch pedals or something, I'm not paying for Hutch pedals. Those prices are ridiculous. I have them on my 26-inch. And yeah, I just want to spend that kind of money. So really the crown jewel to me on this is this chainring and power disc combination. It looks so good. And I really like the fluted seat post with the Hutch seat post clamp. And I really love the stem and stem bolt. Those are probably my 3 favorite places to look at this bike. So there it is, my brand new 2019 Hutch XL24. What do you think about that? I'm loving these Hutches. I've just been finding them left and right, and now I currently have 4 in the garage. I had 5 and I sold one a while back, and it was a 20-inch Pro Racer, which I have another one of. So currently 4 Hutches in the stable, and just completed this one, couldn't be any happier. Also did some upgrades to the 26 and the 20-inch Pro Racer. I put some Cashimax Aero seats on them that look really good. I didn't have a third, but I did have that Velo seat, which I think looks just fine on this bike. It's a pretty sick seat, and they're not expensive. Cashimaxes are about 2 or 3 times as much as these Velos, so maybe in the future, but for right now, I think that bike's done. I hope you liked it, and tell me what you think in the comments. Also, if you haven't done so, the way YouTube works is it feeds off of your interaction with me. So leave me a comment and hit that thumb up and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay rad.